Since his debut in the comics in 1938, the Man of Steel himself, Superman, has become a real big name in the world of entertainment. He's been in theatrical serials as well as animated series, TV shows, and movies, of course, which they had to the 1978 film with the late great Christopher Reeve. And I've just seen the brand new Superman film directed by James Gunn, now playing in theaters. But is this new take on DC's heroic Man of Steel a real super fun experience y'all can enjoy? Or is this one just a big chunk of kryptonite? Find out in the spoiler free review right now. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a spoiler-free review of the 2025 superhero flick Superman. Written and directed by James Gunn, released by Warner Brothers as the first film for the new DC studios. This is the second reboot of the Superman film series, starring David Corenswet as the titular character and Clark Kent, along with Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Hoult, Edi, Edi, sorry if I mispronounced this, Edi Gathegi, Anthony Carrigan, Nathan Fillion, and Isabela Merced. The film follows the titular character who must prove to the world that he's their protector after Lex Luthor conducts a plan to turn the public opinion against him. This is the first film in the brand new DCU, the DC Universe. So, anyway, well, ever since the failure of Justice League in 2017, maybe not the failure, but the troubled production, Man of Steel sequel was no longer moving forward by May of 2020, even after the you know what occurred. Mr. Gunn, after doing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, began work on a new film around August of 2022. Well, just before that film was even released, that is. So, in October, he became co CEO of DC Studios with producer Peter Safran, who, of course, his company, um, the, the Safran Company, along with Gunn's Troll Court Entertainment, part in production. Anyway, so far, this film's been getting some really good response. 30 years ago, Jor-El and Laura Lorvan sent their infant son Kal-El to Earth to escape their planet Krypton's destruction. You know the rest. Raised as Clark Kent by human adoptive parents Jonathan and Martha Kent in Smallville, Kansas, he gains incredible powers from the sun and thus becomes, you guessed it, Superman. Anyway, inspired by his heroism by Jor-El and Laura's farewell message, which was damaged on the journey, Clark debuted as Superman, the most powerful man human on Earth. 3 years ago, while maintaining a job as reporter for the Daily Planet in Metropolis alongside Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane, with the latter in relationship with Clark and aware of his secret identity. Now, this kind of starts when 3 weeks ago, Superman had stopped an invasion by Boravia, an ally of the U.S. of the neighboring country of Jahanpur. Billionaire Lex Luthor assures General Rick Flag Sr. and others in the U.S. government who wonder if Superman might be a threat that he can kill Superman if necessary, but loses his first fight with the mysterious Hammer of Boravia. Well, I won't really tell you any more and what have you. But anyway, now then, that's all the story I will give to you. So Superman has to prove that he's really standing for what he is and not a threat to everyone. From what I've seen of the new Superman film, is I thought it was pretty good. I ranked this as the number one film I wanted to see in the second half of 2025, and I think I did a decent, well, made a decent decision doing that. This is the first part of DCU's Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. And the film takes inspiration from the All-Star Superman comic book series that ran from 2005 to 2008, among others. I think it proved to have a lot of good things in it and what have you, including several introductions of some DC heroes never before featured in any DC media, not even the now defunct DC Extended Universe that Zack Snyder had worked on. But anyway, this is really something. Also, with the debut of Crypto the Superdog as well, who really steals the show, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Even though that's not the first time we've seen this character, if you recall the animated League of Super Pets. But that was different. That was an animated film. This is more live action, you know. So anyway, I think this was so incredible and what have you. Currently, the film sits at 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, where it really ranks right behind the original Superman, the movie from 1978, and its sequel, Superman 2 from 1980. Which, that's good. Anyway, according to them, they say pulling off the heroic feat of fleshing out a dynamic new world while putting its champion's big being heart front and center, this Superman flies high as a man of tomorrow grounded in the here and now. That I think is understandable, certainly. Metacritic has a score 68. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average A-, just like Man of Steel. And those surveyed by PostTrack gave it an 86% positive score, with 74% saying they would definitely recommend it. Now, I did read one review before the film's release and was from IGN, which gave the film an 8, saying the film is a wonderfully entertaining, heartfelt cinematic reset for the Man of Steel and a great start for the DCU on the big screen. Definitely. Forbes, Scott Phillips wrote, "This Superman brings back the colorful visuals, the humor, the clever quips in the midst of the battle, the lightheartedness of the vintage comics." Awards Watch, Awards Watch's Trace Sauvier, I hope I pronounced that right, saying, "With this Superman, we cut the fat and drop any extraneous experimentation. No origin story, no extended continuity with other on-screen Superman, no particularly dar altruism interrogating the character." Jake Cole of Slam Magazine wrote, "This Superman admits that the character has been a mainstay for nearly a century precisely because he stands for things outside of faddish trends." And Cody Derricks of Next Best Picture wrote, "Despite the film's unevenness, the DC Studios has found the Superman who feels as right for the character as Christopher Reeve must have felt nearly 50 years ago, giving fans hope as Gunn ushers in a new version of the ultimate superhero for a new era." Well, most people have been mixed and what have you. The New York Times actually gave a good review, calling it a goofy and charming take on Superman, and compared it positively to the original Iron Man from 2008. Although Peter Bradshaw was kind of mixed in his review for The Guardian, saying this new Superman is encumbered by a pointless and cluttered new backstory. And asks, how many more superhero films in general and Superman films in particular do we need to see that all end with the same spectacular faux apocalypse in the big city with CGI skyscrapers collapsing? They were fun at first, but the thrill is gone. Well, I'm not going to get into two more negative bits and what have you. I still say this film was fun and what have you. And I think it had some incredible, amazing effects. I think the atmosphere for the film was good and what have you. I do actually appreciate the humor they gave in the film. I mean, this makes it feel like I'm hearing some of the fun humor like I've seen in the first couple of Superman films with the late great Christopher Reeve. Anyway, and so far the film's already done pretty well. It made 22 million during its Thursday previews, counting both the theatrical and Tuesday Amazon Prime screenings. It was the best preview box office for any film released this year, as well as a record for any film involving James Gunn. This was also higher than the previous preview box office record the studio had achieved with Barbie a couple of years back. So I think it just might be able to pull it off and do pretty well. I know it will. Let's see. I think the story that James Gunn wrote was very good, as the same can be said for his direction of the film. I think he does just as good a job on this, just like he did with the Suicide Squad or even the Guardians of the Galaxy films. They do it proves to be exceptionally very superb. Doing the score was John Murphy and David Fleming. I am going to say they both do a good job. Of course, John Murphy had recently done the scores for the Suicide Squad, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, of course, Murphy also had used a new version of John Williams' Superman March theme from the original film. He considered Williams' score to be one of the greatest of all time and had associated his theme with Superman from the start of the film's development. That's, I think, is completely understandable. Also, something else I'm just seeing. Sorry, Pierre Safran's daughter Lulu performs a song with the American rock band Foxy Shazam on the soundtrack. Really something. And there's also lots of other fun tunes and what have you. One done by one oddly named group in this, which oh yeah, the Mighty Crab Joys. Boy, now that's a silly name. Not that I'm trying to be rude or anything. I'm just wow. But I think the music and score was good too. The action sequences were absolutely amazing as well. For our cast, we have David Corenswet, who I found out who he was. I saw him in Pearl a few years back, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. He plays Clark Kent and Superman. I am going to say he does as good a job on this as any other we've seen on this. I mean, just like how we've seen with Christopher Reeve or Henry Cavill and why have you, or even more younger ones like Tom Welling from Smallville. Yeah, he's absolutely really good in his performance. Playing Lois Lane, it's Rachel Brosnahan, who you may remember as the titular character of the recent hit award-winning Prime Video series, The Marvelous Miss Maisel. I was really surprised by this, and I really loved her performance. She does a great job as Lois Lane. I mean, I think she did as good a job as Margot Kidder did, and she's just about as good as Amy Adams was as well. Playing Lex Luthor is Nicholas Hoult, who, if you know that name somewhere, that is the guy who recently played Hank McCoy, aka the Beast, in the X-Men prequel film series. Yeah, I couldn't believe they got someone who was playing a mutant in the X-Men series to become Superman's arch enemy. That's really something. And I gotta say, he looks really good. And believe me, he kind of reminds me of Lex Luthor on Smallville, who was played by Michael Rosenbaum. Looks very good and superb. Okay, then we have Edi Gathegi. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name. As Michael Hoult, alias Mr. Terrific. Now, I wasn't familiar with this character, but I did some research on him. I gotta say, this character's pretty good and what have you. I really liked his performance. Anthony Carrigan played Rex Mason, aka Metamorpho. Not too bad. I liked him. Now it was now of course Carrigan had recently played Victor Zsasz, one of Batman's villains, on Gotham a few years back. That's really something. Playing the new Green Lantern for this, Guy Gardner is Nathan Fillion. I gotta say, he drew inspiration for Gardner, speaking his mind with no filter from Estelle Gay's Sophia character from the classic sitcom The Golden Girls. Oh my gosh, I really liked this Green Lantern. He's absolutely funny. And of course, we will see him in the new Lanterns series when it comes to HBO next year, along with the next film in the DCU, which is Supergirl, who you will see a cameo of. That's just a slight little heads up. I think some of you may know, but if not, then that's only a slight little heads up. But you will see some other appearances. And finally, we have Isabela Merced playing Kendra Saunders, aka Hawk Girl. I think that was really good too. Even after seeing Hawkman in Black Adam a few years back, but well, which was part of DCEU, but this is the DCU. And Hawk Girl is exceptionally real good, and Isabela Merced was absolutely amazing. Also, we have Skylar Gisondo playing Jimmy Olsen, very good. Sarah Sampaio, who I'm familiar with that name, who was a recent Maximum cover girl and was also a Victoria's Secret angel model, played Eve Teschmacher, which of course that's the character that was played by Valerie Bryan in the original series, the first two. Let's see here. Wendell Pierce plays Perry White. Now, I didn't feel too bad about them having another African American one after Lawrence Fishburne. So I didn't feel too bad. But anyway, there's lots of others and what have you. So anyway, and there's a host of others and what have you. There's too many to mention. I'll give you one little heads up though. You will see one person from the Guardians of the Galaxy films in this, and you will see a cameo as well. Well, from one of the people you've seen in a recent DC film. I won't tell you who it is though. Just see the film for yourself. Oh boy, this is pretty. I'm taking so long here. This is now going to be the longest spoiler-free review I've done. So anyway, from my point of view, Superman from James Gunn is exceptionally really good. And if can pull it off, I think we got ourselves a new DC universe. So good luck with this. And I say to James Gunn, you did an absolutely amazing job. Congrats. So I didn't really find much of anything wrong. Oh yeah, and also stay through the credits. There's a mid-credit scene and an end-credit scene, which I won't tell you about as well. Okay, just stay tuned for those. Okay, so Superman, great cast, great characters, great atmosphere, great action sequences, great score and tunes, great story and direction from James Gunn, etc., etc., etc. It's superb. For my score, I'm going to give Superman 2025 5 stars, which will mean on a scale of 1 to 10, it gets, you guessed it, a 10. So what did you think of James Gunn's Superman? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel. And I think you know the rest. You're still helping my channel grow and what have you. Thank you. And the views are doing well for some of the videos. I don't care where these vids go high in the views. Just gotta try and do my best to have them reach out to y'all. Okay? Alright, and we'll have another video coming up for you soon. So if you like this, check out my re-reviews of these other Superman films. In the upper left-hand corner is my re-review of Superman the movie from 1978. The upper right-hand corner is my re-review of Superman Returns from 2006. And the bottom left-hand corner is my recent re-review of Man of Steel from 2013, which is done better than my original review. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.